Ganapath, A Hero is Born is an excruciating film. As I watched, I pondered the conundrum of Tiger Shroff. For nearly 10 years now, the actor has set the Bollywood standard for action, dance, and chiseled abs. He moves with a fluidity that seems humanly impossible. In many of his movies, he's airborne, so he's just gliding through the air before delivering a body blow to his opponent. There aren't many actors who can do this. So why is it that filmmakers can't find better stories to showcase his unique talent? Why do so many of them lean so much into Tiger's physical prowess that they forget that they also need to write memorable characters and tell a gripping story? In Ganapath, A Hero is Born, writer-director Vikas Bahl sets up the origin story of a super savior. The film is set in a dystopian future. The poor people, who seem like the Mele mein bichde hue bhai of the oppressed people in the KGF franchise or the Bahubali franchise, live on one side of a wall. This is described as Garibon ki Basti. And here a little girl says to her mother that she hasn't eaten for 3 days, which took me back to that classic dialogue in Manmohan Desai's Mard, when an imprisoned Dara Singh begs his cruel captors for more water. He's told, "Kyun? Kal hi to pilaya tha." Meanwhile, the rich live in a sleek space called Silver City. The buildings are shiny, there are spaceships, and lots of nubile young women in tight clothes. But here's the confusing bit. The rich and the poor are heavily into MMA-style fighting matches. The poor fight in a dusty pit while the rich have this giant stadium. But this seems to be pretty much the only source of entertainment. What happened to Netflix, I wanted to ask. This world is ruled by a mute, blue-eyed baddie named John the Englishman. But he's got some sort of button embedded in his neck which enables him to voice his thoughts. Which took me back to Sir Judah, the mute baddie in Subhash Ghai's Curse, who would give commands by tapping on his whiskey glass, which then his henchman, played by Mac Mohan, would interpret. Sir Judah was way more interesting. The supervillain in Ganapath is some sort of entity named Dalini, who we only see by the end of the film. I'm assuming he'll have a bigger presence in part 2. Stories set in the future require world building, character building, and state-of-the-art VFX. Ganapath is sorely lacking on all counts. At one point, Gudu, who later becomes Ganapath, says to other characters, "Ye kaun si Mad Max ki duniya mein reh rahe ho tum log?" The reference only exposes how woefully inadequate this film is. I could have made peace with the amateur VFX if the writing was a little more sophisticated. But this is a film in which a bad guy is named Tabahi, and the fighters who Ganapath must defeat have names like Bloodbath and Monkey Man. This one eats a banana before the fight starts. The Ganapath team includes Amitabh Bachchan and renowned editor A. Shrikar Prasad, but their work is drowned out by the abysmal writing. There's also Kriti Sanon looking smashing, but her role is so underwritten that I remembered her cool monochromatic outfits more than anything her character did or said. In 2017, Jackie Bhagnani, one of the producers on Ganapath, made a short film called Carbon. This was also set in the future and it featured Nawazuddin Siddiqui wearing a metallic suit as a man from Mars. At one point, he pulls a gun and says, "I love drama. Sali life Mars par bahut thandi hoti hai." He could have been talking about life on Earth as shown in Ganapath. This film left me cold. You can see it at a theatre near you. Do check out my review of Leo and subscribe to Reviews and More.